live streaming. I'm Lada from astrolada.com. Those of you who already know me, I'm an astrologer, and basically today I'm inviting you to share with me an amazing topic. Mostly women will be interested, but men are also welcome to join. And the topic of today's seminar is Harness Your True Femininity and the Secret of Being a Happy Woman. What an amazing and deep theme. And I actually chose exactly today because the two feminine planets, the moon and Venus, are really well aspected in the sky. They're in a harmonious aspect. So the goddesses, the female goddesses will be supporting us, will be giving us inspiration here. And the moon, the planet of femininity, is together with Jupiter, which is higher knowledge, deeper understanding, clarity. So the energies, the feminine energies are extremely enhanced, and Venus is in the sign of Taurus where it's extremely feminine. So we'll have some amazing insights in regards to how to be a happy woman. And I think this seminar can help so many women. It's helped me personally, transform my life, and I really hope I can bring the same to you guys. And first I'm going to speak about each different sign. I'm going to give you different examples from life, how it works. And you don't need to know any astrologer. I'll walk you through exactly how to find out what your feminine energy is and how to tune into it and what is required from you and what actions are needed from you to be happy. All you need to know is just follow the instructions I give you. It's very easy. You'll find out very easy how to do that. So you don't need to be an astrologer or know anything about astrology. So first I want to say a few words in regards to what it is to be a happy woman and how to find your true femininity. You know, so many women nowadays have lost touch with their intuition. This deep voice, the inner feminine voice, which tells them what they have to do in order to feel happy, in order to feel fulfilled. Because of the crazy lifestyle we're having, because of the crazy responsibilities and the outer pressure and the media and the imposed roles from the media or from society or from what others expect you, what others say you should be and do to be a happy woman, and we get confused and we drown the voice of the inner goddess, and we forget. And once you drown this inner voice and you start trying to fit into other people's roles of what is to be feminine, maybe, for some woman, maybe she idealizes some ultra sexy star and she's trying to to basically act like her. Or maybe you see your best friend at work and she's getting all the attention and she's a loud mouth and she's like super crazy and wild, and you try to copy it and it's not working. Actually, you're repelling people. Wow, she keeps attracting so many people with such behaviors that are more extroverted, and you try to be more extroverted to get the same attention, to get the same opportunities in life, the same attraction, to attract the same amount of people, and it's not working. If anything, you're getting more and more miserable. Or the opposite, you might be trying to fit into what your traditional culture says, that you have to be a good wife, to cook well, to please your husband, and you try to make it work, and you get more and more depressed and you start drinking at home or something like that, and you wonder why your best friend can do it and she's so happy and has a glow in her and everyone wants to be around her. While you're doing it, you're sobbing and cooking or something like that. Because each woman has a different goddess within. Each woman has a different feminine power. And when we forget it, when we don't hear the voice of this feminine power, and often even we know, some of us might know exactly what this deep feminine voice is, what exactly the role as a woman will make us happy. But due to outer circumstances, she might not be able to express it. Sometimes responsibilities, duties, lack of financial support, or lack of stable relationships, or certain other circumstances like health can not allow us to express this true femininity, this true inner needs, emotional needs that will make us happy, this feminine side. And what happens? The woman starts being unhappy. A woman starts getting out of touch. Her intuition drowns. When a woman is not happy, feminine, anyone who has a female body, born with a female body, we have more yin-yang energy within our body than yang energy. The yin is the attractive energy. So women kind of can pull towards them the opportunities. they're much better than men. Men have to go and initiate much more because they don't have this inner feminine energy, which is the negative polarity. Negative polarity pulls in. And the more woman disconnects from her intuition and what her needs are, emotionally, and tries to fit into other roles, the less magnetic she becomes. This in energy within her becomes less and less powerful. And basically, what happens? She cannot attract the right circumstances in life. She starts being sad. She starts being miserable. Starts envying and cussing the universe and saying, "Why am I having it so hard? And look at everyone else. Or look at this woman or that woman. Why fate is so unfair towards me?" And believe me, everyone's been there. Every woman, I've been there, stuck for years. And and even though I know astrology and I knew what I have to do, you forget, because life drowns you in its responsibilities or in difficult situations, and you cannot find the strength to be that woman you're meant to be. And we can see what really makes a woman happy astrologically through your birth chart. Nothing is as clear. It's a map of your energetic imprint. And we'll walk through each of the signs, we'll walk through each of the different elements, how to find what your moon and Venus are. And why do you have to find where your moon and Venus are? These are the two feminine planets, these are the two goddesses. Other names of Venus is Aphrodite, Isis, the moon. The other name of the moon in mythical is Diana, I think. In all cultures had different names for Venus and Moon. The Venus, Luna, goddess Luna, or Virgin Mary is the Moon. So these two planets are the two feminine planets. These are the two planets that we soothe, that magnetize us negatively. That doesn't mean that we become negative and sad. It magnetizes us negatively, so we start this strong attractive power that woman has. Once she follows the call of her Venus and her Moon, the feminine planets, she starts becoming more and more magnetized, and she can attract those right circumstances. She can attract following. The more natural a woman is, the more naturally she behaves, the more people love to be around her. The more you've seen some women are so naturally themselves. And it might mean for some of them being more serious, more withdrawn, and they still have hordes of followers, being more mysterious. Others, it might mean for them being out there, getting the world, achieving, traveling, being crazy, dancing on the table, depending on the position of their Venus and their Moon. But once you are behaving naturally, this is when you start attracting the right circumstances. You magnetize yourself negatively and you start attracting positive, and you start attracting more masculine attention as well, because the men are plus. So when a woman develops her minus energy, Venus and Moon, things start aligning in life. Believe me, I've seen transformations overnight for a woman that all of a sudden starts living her true potential, starts living her true feminine inner goddess, and her life turns around. My life is also an example of that. And I'll be probably talking about my horoscopes. I'll be talking about horoscopes of friends. I'll be talking about horoscopes of clients and giving you different examples. And now, first, let me tell you why Venus and Moon. The Moon is our emotional needs. The Moon is our intuition. So once you know the sign of your Moon, and I'll speak about each sign, you know what your intuition, what will make you happy. The Moon is the planet of what makes us happy, what makes us emotionally fulfilled, what our deepest needs are. And very often we're not in touch with actually what our needs are nowadays in society. We're not contemplative enough. We don't hear that inner voice. And once you satisfy the call of this Moon, the Moon is the planet of happiness. You start being happy. You start being present in your body. You start being alive. The Moon is the planet of consciousness. And our moods. So if you answer the call of your emotional needs, if you answer the call of your, and you understand what your needs are, this is when a woman starts becoming emotionally balanced and poised, starts becoming way more attractive to everyone, not only to men. So everyone wants to be around a stable, emotionally stable and happy woman. And the Moon, just like the Moon reflects the light of the sun, in astrology, the Moon indicates how we see ourselves, our self-reflection in the mirror. Basically, the Moon is like this planet that is like a mirror in front of us, and it shows how we see ourselves. So the moon has so much to do with what image you have of yourself. And if you're not responding to the call of this image, the moon sign, if you're trying to be someone else, you don't like what you see across. You don't like what you see reflected in the mirror, so to speak. So we're gonna polish that moon surface and through each sign, so you know what your inner needs are, and you try to, fit with them more, try to incorporate them in your life. And they're simple life hacks, very simple, but you feel empowered. You feel like an empowered goddess when you start answering to the call of your moon. So that's why the moon is so important for emotional happiness. And then Venus. What is Venus? Venus is love. How do we give love? How do we receive love? How do we make ourselves pretty? How do we seduce? How do we attract the things we want? And how do we love ourselves? How much do we love ourselves? They say the most important relationship anyone will ever have is a relationship with yourself. So Venus shows your self-love. And once you love yourself, you can give from your heart to others. If your cup is half empty, you cannot give away. If you don't love yourself, and loving yourself doesn't mean sitting on the mirror and saying, oh, I'm the prettiest, look at me, or I'm the best, I'm the bomb. No, loving yourself means knowing yourself and knowing what your needs are, knowing what makes you happy, and answering to those needs. And and basically, sorry, I'm just checking some comments of you just to see if you're hearing everything well, if the streaming is going well. It seems it's okay. But anyway, the video will be on YouTube after that. And even if the streaming disconnects, don't worry, we'll connect the video after that. You can just find me again on the live stream. And for those of you who are watching the video on YouTube, later on, I'll connect the videos. But anyway, so loving yourself is about knowing who you are and answering to that inner goddess, to that inner call. And you know how women, the older women become, the more they start knowing themselves and they start answering to their call usually. And that's why it's so hard for them, for philanderers, playboys. They don't target all the women because all the women know themselves better. So they will not try and fit someone egoistical needs in a relationship. They will not try to please someone. They'll just answer to their inner goddess call and what they feel they should be like. That's why all the women, it's not like guys always like much younger women. It's just especially guys that are there just to have fun with the woman and use her. Younger women are not so much in touch with themselves. So so that's why all the women, the older you get, the more you get in touch with those Venus and the moon. But sometimes life circumstances can be so hard that we're disconnected. So now let's go and let me show you how to find out the sign of your Venus and the sign of your moon. And all you need to do is go to my birth chart calculator. Putting a link for it there on the video. The website is called www.astrolada.com. And find the icon with the birth chart calculator there. Click on it and enter your details of birth. To be absolutely sure of your moon sign, you need to know at least the approximate time of your birth within an hour or two. But the Venus sign will not change. But anyway, put your time of birth, and once you generate the birth chart, go to the planetary detail table. It's a little table below the charts. You'll see it says planetary detail table, and just find Venus and the moon. You'll see there the sun, Mercury, the planets that are responsible for different parts of ourselves, but how we love ourselves and how happy we are as a woman and how we can attract the things we want as a woman, whether through relationships, so things that make us happy and what our needs are Venus and moon. And check the sign of your Venus and moon. And we'll do very basic astrology here. We'll just check the signs of Venus and moon. They can be said a lot more what will make you happy by the conjunctions or aspects Venus and moon do in the horoscope. But this is more basic, and it's very enough. Knowing the sign of your Venus, the sign of the moon when you were born, what they were, it gives you the background, the energetic blueprint. And the others are more detailed, more in depth, can give extra information, but the signs are enough to transform your life. And I'm going to start talking about the different signs first. I'll combine them by groups, by elements. And the elements are fire, water, earth, and air. And I'm going to talk about each sign separately because they're different. They're very similar if they're from the same element, they're very similar in nature, but then each sign from those elements has a little bit different manifestation. And some of you, though, before we start looking at the different signs, some of you will say, well, my moon is in a fire sign, say my moon is in Aries, but my Venus is in Capricorn, which is clashing energy, fire and earth, and fire and water, they clash. Fire and air, they get along very well. So when a woman has Venus and moon in signs that are very different from each other, there is a little bit more hard work that she has to do in this lifetime, because she needs to adjust, because she has needs that are very different to express as a woman. For example, with Venus, with the moon in Aries, if she is not fiery, excited, leaders of some sort, a leadership position of some sort, if she doesn't have her spontaneous little adventures, if her routines are too monotonous and there is no change, she starts withering, she starts dying within. But then Capricorn Venus requires stability, requires climbing gradually the ladder of success, material and financial stability, so she can have a push and pull within herself, a woman with clashing Venus and moon. And she'll have to find ways to reconcile and do a little bit of both. If she fully shuts down the moon and focuses just on stability, just on career, just on prestige, which is Capricorn, just on structure, a part of her that makes her happy, the moon, that gives her emotional happiness, will start dying. Or if she focuses just on her moon and goes wild and Aries-like and, in your face, kind of following her goals and initiatives, going on adventures, but shuts down her Venus, which is, the structure, the stability, she will start again withering. She would not love herself so much. She would not feel so attractive as well. So women that have Venus and moon in clashing signs, in signs that are very different, they tend to find it a bit harder. They tend to take them a few more years or they have to find a balance to do both things, not to clash one thing, not to stifle the other one over the other. But some women have it very easy, like me. I have both my Venus and both my moon in fire signs. So they're very harmonious. Fire signs get along very well. So, some people don't have the need to adjust so much their inner needs. Their inner needs are more simple. They're not as complex. Their femininity is less complicated. And actually, this can make you more of an open book to others. But trying to be more complicated, it will off-put people from you. And you find it more natural when your Venus and moon are from the same element or from compatible elements, say from earth and water or from fire and air. Then the woman finds faster and easier how to harmonize those two feminine planets, because the energies of those signs are similar and the manifestation, so it's easier for her usually to come into her female power. But actually, women with clashing moon and Venuses are more of a mystery. They're more of a curiosity, so to speak, because they're more complex. And such women being complex, they're answering to their true nature. They don't go out, if they try to be too easy breezy, easygoing, and not hearing the voice of, I'm being told it's frozen now. Can you see me? Can you see me right now? I hope the recording goes well anyway. I will continue, guys. Write to me if there are problems with the sign, with the sound. Write to me if there's problems with hearing me, with the vision. So hopefully everything goes well. Okay, so yeah. So a woman that has clashing moon and Venus from very different elements, she becomes more complex. She becomes maybe more intriguing because, say, she has a moon in a water sign, emotional, sensitive, mysterious, quiet, it takes care of, connects on a deep emotional level, nurtures others. And at the same time, she has a Venus in a fire sign, out there, or air sign, which is communicative, talkative. So she will have to play both those roles. She'll have to retreat sometimes within and answer to her emotional needs of more being, of being more quiet and reserved. And then she'll have to go and socialize as well. And, others can find that conflicting or kind of complicated, but at the same time, the more the woman plays both roles rather than suppresses one, the more she's natural, and people would still be very attracted to such a woman. People would still be very, you know, her femininity will shine out. So some women have it a bit harder with clashing Venus and moons because their needs are different, but they have to find ways to reconcile both of those with life rather than just choose one. Because many women fixate either just on the female, on the moon sign, or fixate just on the Venus sign if they're too different from each other. And that's again makes a disconnect from them. And women that have it in very similar, say, some women might even have it in the same sign, in moon and Venus in Leo, moon in Virgo and Venus in Capricorn, two earth signs, so very easy flow. Basically, the needs are very similar. But sometimes they would suffer even more if they could not fulfill those needs. Say a woman with an earthy chart, with earthy Venus and earth moon. Say she tries to she looks at her friend that is very popular and a friend that just goes traveling, having adventures, not thinking about practical considerations, that jumps, takes risks, and she says, okay, I want to do that. So she starts living this life because she starts thinking, okay, if my friend is doing so well, let me do it again. So she forgets all those earthy things that would make her feel happy. So like having stability, security, financial stability, all of these things are very earthy. Then she totally can fall into a depression. That can be her hell. And one woman's paradise, as they say, is another woman's hell. For example, me being so fiery, if I wanted to, I'm trying to maybe seeing a friend that is in a happy family, that is very, domesticated, that likes to take care of her family and do chores and no, take care, cook and things like that. If I went to do that, and trying it, I've tried. Sometimes you're put in such a situation. For example, my mom has the moon in Gemini, and she was always very communicative. All my friends would go there to see her and hang out with her rather than with me, because she would make them laugh. This is Gemini. She would talk to them. They would discuss gossip and everything, and they loved her. She had an office in the center, so everyone was dropping by, and she loved this small community that she created, which is very much Gemini. Young people dropping by, communicating daily with different people. So she was blossoming as a woman. And then she lost that business. She closed it down because she had to take care of her mother. And her Gemini moon, being isolated, cutting connections with people, not communicating enough, not meeting new interesting people, not even seeing your friends. She started withering. She got depressed for 4 or 5 years. So this is how, if you don't follow the call of your Venus or your moon, it becomes it can be soul killing. Your spark disappears. Your beauty disappears. You can start aging. For example, I started aging when I was living very isolated, when I was not having adventures, when I was before being a fire signs. I'll start with the fire signs. Say you have a Venus or moon in a fire sign. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. First, I'll speak generally about them, then I'll speak about each sign separately. But say you have your Venus in Aries, or your moon in Leo, or in Sagittarius, something like that. You are a fire goddess. And if you extinguish this fire, you start aging. You start being disgruntled. And what is fire? Fire wants to be free. Fire wants to, to express yourself creatively. Fire is a very creative, very fun-filled. Fire is light. So these people, they have to party, have fun, let their hair down. If they start only doing responsibilities, these women only focus on work responsibilities, children, pleasing the people around, she suppresses her true nature. She will, I am a big party person. And every time I stop partying, doesn't mean go get drunk and take drugs and stuff, but like go have exciting adventures. Wake up at 2 in the morning and just go and do something, spontaneous, or just go to theaters, places of fun, of enjoyment, dancing. Fire is active, is physical. Fire wants to be, inspired, wants to make others laugh, wants to make dramatic gestures. Leo the most, but even Aries and Sagittarius, they should sparkle like a Christmas tree. They're usually center of they're the one center of attention in a company. They're making funny jokes. They're talking about, they're the ones also who fire wants, it's very masculine. Fire is masculine energy. So there is a bit of a dichotomy here, because those women with fire in their horoscope, being in very feminine roles, accepting second positions, accepting positions of, where they're at the background, it starts killing them. If they're with a very traditional man who wants to be the leader, who wants to lead, who wants to tell them what to do, well, they might not be feeling so happy, because they need their freedom to move. They need their ability to shine. If someone stifles their child spirit, because fire is very much like this, inspired, childlike energy that wants to inspire others. And if their own inspiration is killed by maybe with someone bossy, someone controlling in their life, or by them putting again, forgetting to have fun, by them forgetting, always retreating at back uh, roles. Like I remember when before I had this business, before I'm in center stage positions like that, where I can entertain, where I can teach, doesn't matter, but something that you create, something that this masculine energy of generating things, of even going conquering the world with the masculine, having a masculine Venus or Mars, staying at home, doing routine things all the time, might really stifle your spirit unless you have some earth. Say your Venus is in earth and your moon is in fire, you have to find ways to do both. But if both your Venus and moon are in fire, my God, it's you have to find a way to be somewhere a boss, to be creative, to have freedom, to inspire others. You have to find a way to let your hair down, dance, dance on the table. You have to find a way to uh, spark up this fire. And physical activity is very important with women that have Venus in fire signs. This is what can make them sparkle, or even just going dancing. And something more vigorous will make them happy. Maybe a woman with Venus in Pisces, or more gentle signs, Cancer, having a kickboxing session might overwhelm her. But a woman with Venus and Moon in fire signs, she needs to create herself first some of that fire, and that fire is created through some exciting activities, through fun, through entertainment, through joy, through spreading joy as well to others, making others have uplifting. Fire is uplifting, fire is inspiring. So when a woman is balanced with fire signs, she inspires others. Others find her so much fun, they want to be around her. Men get attracted to that. But if her colleague, who is water Venus and Moon, or earth Venus and Moon, is trying to act out the same way and be loud and brash and, tell everyone what to do, well, that can put people off from her, because she's not playing her true inner goddess. And so fire signs, I hope I try to explain them well, but they can go conquer the world. Like, they need to be not necessarily out and about, but they need to get constantly inspiration. They need to have fun. They need to have something they're very passionate about. Fire is passion. Come on. They need fire signs. They need to, for them, love cannot be, if they settling in a relationship that's too mundane, or that doesn't have the burning fires of excitement. And they don't have to be crazy childlike, maybe for Aries, Venus or Moon women. But Leo is more calm. But it needs to be like constant fire there, constant passion. So a woman with Venus or Moon in those three fire signs, if she does not have passion in her life, she starts withering. She's not as happy. And if there is not a man to be passionate about, or if she's in a relationship that is maybe more as a friendship, more as a companionship, more as a security, this can start withering again a fire woman. She needs to feel excited. And even she can take the lead and be the leader in the relationship, but as long as she feels passionate about some person or something else, it doesn't have to be a person. You don't have to be dependent on another person, but the ideal relationships for Venus, Moon in fire will be exciting ones, will be fun, full of laughter and joy, will be fun, will be childlike, will be playful, will be, where she has freedom as well to move. And the two traditional roles, I keep repeating, fire women, it's not the easiest for them. It's not what's true to them, so to speak. They themselves have this masculine energy, this masculine signs, the fire signs, the masculine signs. So they sometimes can be and should be the leaders to feel more in their skin. And or they can find the passion through other ways, whether it's they create some business that they lead, whether it's they're super passionate about their job, their career. If they get in situations that they don't love and are excited about that thing, the fire in them starts dying out. But other women that have not fire, Venus and Moon, they can feel very comfortable and way more happy in more routine, more repetitive situations, more traditional, and them trying to do the opposite will kill them emotionally almost. But for the fire women, they're very strong usually. And when they forget to laugh, when they forget to go a bit crazy, when they forget to be able to sing and dance and be loud and don't be brash. That's off-putting for everyone. But the way you love yourself is by having fun, by being passionate, if you've forgotten yourself, or if because of other circumstances you have to be, say, always at home, always doing the same things, or you don't have exposure to express yourself, because fire wants to express. Fire wants to give like the sun gives. Fire wants to create and have others admire them or lead others or inspire them. And if you haven't created maybe a hobby like that, or maybe your life circumstances not allowing you because you have 4 children, or you're kind of depressed for some reason, then go and do those things. And because these are masculine signs, the 3 fire signs, you can go and find your own happiness. Masculine signs can be initiative. So you have to go and do things like go start working out. This will help you feel more in touch with yourself. Get the fire starting. If you're depressed, if you're sad, if you're unbalanced, fire women with Venus and Moon in those signs, or Venus and Moon, some physical exercise. As I said, maybe dancing is even better. Go and find ways to, if you're too shy, then something is blocked. Your inner goddess is blocked. Fire is not shy. Fire is passionate and excited and wants to say to everyone everything. And I remember while I didn't have my business, I was working in places that I was not excited about. I didn't like the job. I was in dead end for 10 years. I was just passionate about astrology. That was the only thing that was keeping me. But I didn't have an outlet to express, to give it. Fire wants to give. And I was in the background. I was, no one knew me. And fire wants to be known. Fire wants to reach out to others, especially my moon being in Leo, which likes to be center stage. But all fire signs are kind of center stage signs, to shine your individuality, to express what you're passionate about. And when I didn't, I was very depressed, to be honest. It was hard years because I was instead focusing on financial security, on trying to make money, but instead of involving the passion that fire signs need, I was just going for positions that would bring me money, but without having the passion there. My God, that killed me. Wow, for a woman with some earth sign, Venus or Moon, going for positions that bring financial stability is actually better than going for crazy passions and things like that. It will give her more stability, more inner centeredness. But for a fire woman, wow, you have to go and find your passion. And you can start first with physical exercise. You can start with some hobbies, going to theater, to parties, this is what will inspire you. Falling passionately in love will inspire you. Falling passionately about some idea. So until you find this passion and really express it, and take positions that are more center stage rather than backstage. Female with Venus or Moon in fire signs, they need to take leadership. In ancient Vedic astrology, the fire signs are called the Kshatriya signs, basically the warriors and the leaders and the politicians and the people that are in center stage positions that make and shift and make the things move around, and so you are like a warrior with those fire signs, and you have to go and find your path, through your own initiative as well. Of course, you can get support, but when you start with the energy of fire, the universe will bring this support to you. You start attracting. When you're passionate, excited, when you're, even independent. Fire women, they don't need someone to be hanging on to someone all the time and to cling. Or if they're in relationships that are too clingy, too suffocating, or in situations where they can't move, express their joy and fun and their passion, they need to go and do that. They need to go, or depression settles in, or they don't attract, the universe gets blocked. It does not attract to them the right circumstances because you don't vibrate with your energy that is attractive. You're doing something else that's not truly you, you know. And okay, let's talk about each fire sign one by one. Aries. Wow, well, what can I say? Venus or Moon in Aries. Independent. This woman, until she's relying always on someone, or you know, sometimes there can be shifts, not for everyone, but she's here. The Aries is the first sign. Venus or Moon in woman, she needs to learn to be independent and even to be happy within herself without a partner. To find this excitement and joie de vivre, I think it's called, about life within herself, and to have adventures. I mean, getting stuck in one place. Aries needs changes. It's a cardinal sign. She's most alive when there are changes. While for maybe her Taurus sister, changes non-stop would kill her, would age her. But for Aries woman, Sun or not Moon or Venus, getting stuck in a monotonous situation, in something that's not exciting, she would start stirring things up just to get this fire, just because her inner goddess is stifled, and should, you know, go and have a scandal or argue with someone or create some drama just so she can get this excitement. But this is not the healthy way to do it, by creating dramas and by creating like mischief or arguing. The healthiest way is for her to find her independence, be in a position of some leadership. She cannot be in a relationship where she's stifled and told what to do. A very bossy, controlling person. This again will stifle her. Being in too clingy relationships as well. It's not. Or if she herself becomes clingy, she is not being herself. She's putting off the other person. Or if she's like too all over the other person. Again, this is not the energy. Aries is independent. Aries is a warrior. She goes win the world. She goes, challenges herself. Go for a marathon, or go give yourself a goal, something physical. Aries is the fleshly, physical body, you know. So she needs to be in sexual relationships as well. Relationships, you know, that where the passions, the fire have gone. She can self-sabotage those relationships by stirring things up, you know. She needs to have sex as well. This Aries is physical. Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet that rules the sexual organs. And she needs to, and sometimes, you know, you don't disperse the sexual energy. It's very creative. The sexual energy is creative. This sexual energy, sometimes when she's not in a passionate sexual relationships, maybe the universe wants her to generate more of this sexual energy so she can go conquer something, so she can use it as a propeller in some way to discover something she's passionate about and lead and make new paths, because Aries is the sign of the leader, the first sign, number one sign. So basically, to win something, to achieve some goal, the sexual energy can be. That's why, because Aries, Venus or Moon women tend to have a lot of sexual energy, and if they just dissipate it, it's great to have sexual partnership, discharges them. But sometimes, if they're not putting the energy there, they can, if they don't put it in anything, not even in sexual partnerships, blockages, depression, sadness start happening. But this powerful energy of Aries, it needs to be channeled. It's usually the Aries is the sign of the pioneer that blazes new trails, that creates original ideas, that is first there, that comes with new visions first and goes and implements them. Action. Aries is action. If she doesn't have action in her life, ooh, you know, this can really start draining the person. It can really start this woman in particular. And again, maybe the most traditional roles are not for them, because just being a stay-at-home mother, just being, sorry, something from the candle, just being, you know, just having everyday monotonous life. She needs to find ways to spark this up, to stir it up. I'll give you an example. Angelina Jolie has her moon in Aries, and she, especially the first part of her life before she had family and children, she was this crazy adventurous, talking about how they're having sex with pillows all over the room, how they had a sex dungeon, how she was carrying blood vial from her partner, and about their sexual escapades. And then, though, she also had Venus in Cancer, the family sign. So she was never fully fulfilled when she was just going, conquering the world, opting in all those action movies, which is very much Aries, or being the staff girl. I don't know if you've seen Hackers, but Angelina Jolie played her Aries moon there. She's cool, she wins, she's like short hair, she's the dude, she's super cool, you know. And after that, Lara Croft, those roles were her moon, she was acting it out. But she needed to act out her Venus as well. Only when Venus in Cancer is family, is children, is feeling like belonging, it's a bit of clashing energy there, action, independence, and family and belonging. But she found a way, amazingly, you know, she found a way to do both. If she did not have family and children, should not feel fully fulfilled, should not be fully happy just with her action conquering Aries moon, you know. But she did, and she has family now, so she learned, found ways to balance them. And I heard that recently she had a few breakdowns emotionally. That's probably if she focused too much on her family role only. But she keeps creating movies. She keeps being active. She has her production company. She's the initiator as well. So she found a way to balance both. An example. I know why I love this woman so much. I keep giving her as an example. So she's an example of someone who resolved. Who resolved this conflict within, and she's able focusing on family and action and achievement areas as well. Okay, so that's Aries. So don't get bogged in um, travel, change things. If everything becomes too monotonous, this can make you very unhappy. So you have to find ways to stir things up in the healthy ways. Find your passion, direct it towards something, go conquer it, or being in a passionate relationship as well act as a trigger for that. Being excited or being just the simplest thing, physically active. That's one thing Aries woman should do, and being more independent. When an Aries woman, moon or Venus, is not independent, she doesn't feel fully herself. She needs to, in some way, and I'm not saying financial independence, just to have her freedom, to have her ability to it's to follow through her exciting goals or desires, you know. So anyway, let's move into the next fire sign, which is Leo. Now the passions are more calm down. They're not as intense. They're not so impulsive that you have to go and act, you know, immediately. But she needs to be a queen, you know. Leo is the sign of the king. So glamorous. Leo is the most glamorous sign. If she, like I have moon in Leo, and days when I stay at home and just work, no makeup, I don't make myself nice, or if I haven't gone partying and enjoying myself for weeks, I start getting more sadder and bored. And, you know, Leo wants to look gorgeous, the most glamorous, like a queen, you know. Put on some high heels, put on your best dress, go out, dance, paint the town red. Leo is the sign of excitement and enjoyment, the sign of our what gives us excitement, what gives us pleasure. No, not exactly pleasure, it's more like what inspires us, is a sign of inspiration as well. Like all fire signs, they're similar. But Leo is about, again, Leo is a sign of leadership, the king. Where high can you go? Such a woman being in secondary positions, being with bossy men, it's not gonna work. Leo and Aries women, Venus or Moon, they're not gonna be happy there. Or being with people that put them down. My God, if you have Venus Moon or Venus Leo or Moon in Leo woman, and someone is criticizing you, or your environment, someone is putting you down or not giving you the affirmation or the admiration for what you do, this starts withering you. Some women are okay if they don't have Leo in them. They're, you know, they'll be okay in more submissive positions, and they'll be happier actually. But you need to find some way, whether through your relationship or whether in your life, to be a leader, to inspire others, to be as an example of others. What is the king? The king leads his people. The queen leads his people. She becomes like an example to them. So you have to find some way to be center stage roles. If it's not in your marriage, if you've worked the dynamics like that, this can be quite dampening on you. Like, for example, my mom is Venus in Leo, and she's a very dramatic lady. When she goes out, she'll put on her beautiful clothes, her makeup, and she struts her, you know, Leo, Venus, or Moon, they kind of have a good posture usually. They kind of walk like that with their head up. If you see a slumped Venus, Moon in Leo, that's she's not being herself. You have to be the queen. When you act like that, you start attracting the right energy. And my mom, I remember that my dad is very controlling and dominating. I love him to bits, dad, I'm sorry. But He's a Leo as well. And at home, my mom is in secondary position. And that would, if she only had to stay at home, that will kill her, because she's there, the submissive. That's how they work their relationship from early on. And Bulgaria, Eastern Europe, women are usually most, from the older generation, learn to be more submissive, more traditional, but she's not, she had to find an outlet outside where she can shine, where she can take the spotlight if she cannot do it at home. So she created her fashion brand, and she became one of the most famous fashion designers. Where I was living, everyone was going there. Her office, as I said, was full of people admiring her, admirers sending her flowers, and so she found a different outlet. And Leo is a very creative sign. Leo is like, it's connected to the energy, is the sun. The sun just gives light and creates happiness to others and joys. If you see a Venus in moon, Venus, Leo, moon or sun, or Venus, what am I? Moon or Leo in Venus. No, oh my God, I'm getting tired. If you see Venus and moon in Leo, a woman who is not laughing loud, who is not, who is not regal, who doesn't like to take care of her appearance, something is blocked there. And it might be a bit superficial, but that's what they need. They need to be center stage. They need to be queens, They need to be admired by others. So put on a good makeup, laugh out loud, be center, be fun, Find something to be excited and to put your creativity in. Maybe go start doing drama and acting. I'll give you an example. Venus in Leo. Julia Roberts, when she laughs with her loud voice, ha ha ha, I love it. Moon in Leo, that's she's so attractive. But if another woman that doesn't have this fire tries to laugh like that, she might sound to others, because it's not her true energy, she might sound off-putting and brash to others. But when Julia Roberts does, it's just so spontaneous and natural. And the Leo and the fire energy is very childlike energy. And you even see her in the movie. She plays so well, Pretty Woman, where she's like a little bit clumsy and a little bit, excitable. But Leo in particular, it's more, it's more queenly, it's more dignified. And definitely you have to find something where people can admire you, where this is what feeds my soul, guys. Since I started doing those videos and getting so many wonderful emails from all of you and thanking me, and I blossom. I'm so happy receiving recognition, what the Leo wants. And when a Leo woman, moon or Venus in Leo, starts receiving recognition, whether through her husband, whether through her partner, whether through the environment, she gives more and more. But in order for her to start receiving this recognition, because it's a masculine sign, again, it's more better that she goes out and starts giving first. Leo is the most generous sign. If a Leo moon or Venus woman is stingy, or in a relationship with someone stingy, that can switch off her energy. Something is off with her energy if she's feeling stingy herself, with her time, with her feelings, with her financial resources as well. They're magnanimous. Start being magnanimous. Start giving, shining like the sun. Start making people laugh and happy for some reason. Just Leo is this, bring some joy to their life. And you'll start getting more and more appreciation. If you criticize people, if you're like pointing them always what they do wrong, and if you're overly bossy, which is a negative manifestation of Leo, but you have to inspire them with positive ways, everyone would want to be around you. The universe will start opening doors for you and attracting more and more abundance towards you. So that's Leo. And interestingly enough, if you're in situation that you're abused in some way, that you're put down in some way, that your dignity is hurt in some way, just run away as the like the wind from that situation if possible, because too long like that, you're killing your inner queen. Sometimes life will put you in such situations you don't have a choice. You have a boss that's nasty, that puts you down, or someone that suppresses you, and try and go, when you're in such situations and you can't go out of them, try and go and find something to have fun, to make others laugh, to keep up that Leo, to some other place where people would admire you. For me, the easiest thing before I had this center stage position, or you can go dance, you can go act, you can go get some hobby where you're being in the center stage, where you're entertaining others in some way, a way you're being creative, get some creative hobby. if you're being suppressed in a different situation that you can't get out of life, you start creating this fire yourself by those methods, and the universe will start attracting the right things around you as well. Uh, and I remember when I was without before having this business center stage giving, being in positions of of inspiring, the way I would do it, very superficial, but what can I do sometimes, Leo? It's like put on high heels, makeup, and go out and have people compliment me or something. Or it doesn't have to be so superficial like that, but making yourself pretty and regal like a queen, it's amazing. You immediately your energy will lift up. Anyway, next sign, Sagittarius. Whoa, Sagittarius Venus or Sagittarius Moon. Again, making others laugh is fantastic. Uplifting others. Sagittarius is the sign of the advisor, the teacher, the guru. Maybe people come to you to advise, give them advice, uplift them, give them your higher perspective. Because Sagittarius woman, she needs to find something like a belief system, something that is way more philosophical. Sagittarius moon or Venus woman, if she doesn't have something she believes in, if she doesn't have some long-term goal that excites her, if she doesn't have some philosophical belief system or spiritual belief system, something that gives a higher, or pursuit of higher knowledge and intelligence, higher themes, topics about why are we here, what's the purpose of life, maybe reading spiritual books, maybe coaching, life coaching, or reading those inspirational, they have to do something like that, even if it's not their career. They have to do it in their free time to awaken that Sagittarius fire to be truly themselves. And the Sagittarius fire is the one of wisdom, of higher knowledge, of spreading higher knowledge, of learning higher knowledge, of helping people see a higher perspective, a different perspective. Because Sagittarius, I always compare it to the higher mind, basically seeing things from a higher perspective rather than from getting bogged in details. So imagine if such a woman with Sagittarius, Venus or Moon, is too much bogged in details and gossip in everyday things, in mundane, prosaic, in mundane and practical things. Her Sagittarius fire is dying. She needs some ideal. She needs something that inspires her and excites her. If she only focuses on material things, if she gets too emotionally dependable, because Sagittarius is an extremely independent sign. It's the horse, after all. What the horse wants to be wild, Horse, the centaur, basically. Sagittarius is this arrow that is pointed, and she needs to have some goals that she has to look up to the future, something that excites her in the distant future, or something, even if it's just like ideal. Maybe she has some inspirational figure that she looks up to, that inspires her, reading biographies of people that inspire her. Or maybe Virgin Mary, it might be a spiritual figure, it might be a real figure, that such person should have high ideals. If she starts getting petty, thinking only about money, thinking about getting bogged down only by material considerations and success for the purpose of success, rather than for some big ideal, something she believes in, the fire starts dying again. If she's in relationships that are too mundane, that they don't have change, the fire starts dying away. So she needs to travel. Sagittarius is a sign of travel. She needs to, when she feels bogged down, when she feels stuck in her life, unhappy, go on little adventures. If you don't have money to go abroad to India or whatever to see different perspective, travel. Why does travel help you? Because Sagittarius is a sign of the high mind. They need to see a different perspective, and when you go to different cultures, you meet new people that are so different than you, that gives you a higher, different perspective. If you get bogged too much down in the mundane, routine life, Sagittarius ladies, if you're repetitive, small community, not meeting new, exciting, diverse people, your fire can start going. Or at least you can start reading about such people, such adventures. Read adventure books. Go make your own little adventures as well. Go travel somewhere, change the environment somehow. Communicate with foreigners. You can do it over the internet. Communicate with people from a very different hierarchical social structure than you, who kind of expand your horizon and vision. And again, being stuck in situations, being stuck in relationships that are too limiting, that do not, that are situations where you cannot express your fire, and or another way you can do is like go counsel, give advice to others. This is Sagittarius. They want to inspire. They want to give, excitement, not only meaning and purpose in the life of others, and also amazing women that they themselves work in the corporate world, but in the free time, she's learned how to use her Sagittarius power by basically doing coaching, making coaching videos on YouTube or something like that, and giving advice to other women. Or I remember the theme that she was talking about, but they can, this is what can make you feel alive and shine. Or the simplest thing is just to go traveling. Okay, now let's move to the air signs. Another masculine, the air signs are masculine. What happens if you have your Venus or Moon in Gemini? You see how the energies are similar to the fire, but they're more mental. The the air signs, sorry, which are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. This is the mental power. These are bright women, and they should intellectually develop themselves all the time. They should gather information, they should communicate. They're connectors. The air energy is the energy of relationships and connecting with others. So if they're isolated socially, if you have Moon or Venus in those three signs, if you isolate socially, if you don't communicate with people much, if you're in some circumstance that you can't, or maybe you shut yourself out because it means your feminine energy there is blocked. Your social life should be brimming. And also, the air energy is about culture. It's about art. It's about the achievements of humans through the mind. The achievements we've had. It might be like going on lectures, or it might be going to an art museum to see the skills of what humans have achieved through their mind as skills. They can awaken this divine goddess within, this air goddess, as they say, through doing such kind of cultural activities, maybe going, visiting museums, arts, lectures of some sort, and communicating with people, writing. If your energy is blocked, you awaken your feminine, divine energy either by picking the phone, chatting with someone, a friend, exchanging ideas bounce much better. The mental energy of the air signs, when there is audience that you can communicate, or someone to bounce off ideas with, or a few different people. So when you're in a tough situation, when you're feeling down, communicate, talk, go and read something, go and watch some documentary that will uplift you, that will, you mentally connect. And it's kind of, air is refined sign. It's not as wild, it's not as raucous as fire. So it's more cultured, it's more etiquette, it's more refined, so to speak. And let's see, the first air sign is Gemini. And you need to, I have so many women and clients and people from my own life that have Gemini moon, or that have Venus in Gemini. I love those people, but they constantly need stimulation. And if you find yourself losing interest in the world around you, even in the gossip, even in what's happening with the celebrities, or what's happening on the news, something you're not fully connecting to your energy, because Gemini is gatherer of information, gatherer of pieces, different facts. And Gemini is supposed to be the most curious sign. And if you have Venus or Moon there and you lose your curiosity, you're blocked. For some reason, when you lose your curiosity, your interest in the world around you, your interest in the affairs of the people around you, whether it's the postman, whether it's the shop person, assistant, Gemini is interested. And this is the healthy Gemini woman with Moon on Venus. When she goes to the shop, she finds it interesting to talk, to chat to the Safeway girl, to chat to the neighbor, and to go on a walk and meet friends and chat with them, go on a coffee, in Europe that's very popular, that we go and just sit for hours and chat and gossip on a coffee. And if you don't have that, you might feel very, okay, your fire is stifled. I keep giving an example of my mom with Moon in Gemini, when she had to take care of my grandmother. And she was totally isolated, and she was crying a lot, she was depressed, she was like, I don't know what's happening. And she just had to go out or pick up the phone, or start communicating, or walk. Gemini is ruled by rules walking, so go for a walk. And Gemini and all the air signs, breathing is air. Having clean air environment is so important for a woman to feel more, actually, to sparkle that femininity. Just taking a few deep breaths can help, or going opening the window every morning when the prana is strongest, because the air signs are connected to the prana. The prana is the vitality that comes through the air, and the air signs can really acquire it much better, can, especially the female planets in air signs, because they're receptive. So go and take a few deep breaths on the clean air. Go for a trek somewhere where you can breathe deeply. That can immediately kind of increase your feminine energy and power. But if your voice is not heard, if you cannot communicate your ideas, whether it's Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, but we're talking about Gemini particularly now, this inner goddess starts dying. And Gemini also loves to travel. Gemini is the other sign of traveling, moving about. So if you're feeling down, just go for a walk, or call a friend, or read some book quickly, or you have to find a way to express your thoughts. And if no one is listening to you, uh, start writing a blog, or have some. Gemini rules the media. Have some media exposure, or gather information, clippings. My mom, that's how she rediscovered her joy of life when she was stuck at home, having to take care of my grandmother, not seeing any new people, not communicating, not being able to travel or move anywhere. So she started reading a lot of articles, and she got obsessed about, how to keep health. That was her thing. For you, it might be something else. It might be, commenting on movies or whatever. And she started doing clippings of articles and posting to her friends on Facebook. And she got so big into Facebook that helped her out of the feeling down as well. Yes, someone says stimulation is the key, exactly. So Facebook, she's like super active on Facebook, way more than me. Like she comments on all my videos. She, immediately she went on Facebook at the age of 56, and she got like 200 friends in 2 days or something like that. And that's a healthy Gemini energy. If you're denying yourself that, if you're not able to express your thoughts, you're not able to express and communicate about the things that are important about you, to exchange ideas with others, then it's best if you have such a career where you can constantly feed that, of moving, of traveling, of communication, of information, of media, so you feel happy, you feel stimulated. So that's Gemini. Okay, developing new hobbies, new interests. Gemini is like trying out new different things, and not even sticking with one thing, just trying here and there, jack of all trades. That's excitement, perfect. That's what the air, you know. But of course, even if you have Gemini, say, I'll give you an example with my best friend, Venus in Gemini with Moon in Scorpio, very contradictory. Two extremely different signs. Gemini wants freedom, flirting, light conversations, making people laugh. And my friend is so bright, like she's so funny, everyone wants to be around her. This is how she manifests her Venus in Gemini. And she can talk about such fun things, easygoing, quick remarks, quick jokes, which is Gemini is the mind of the very fast mind, very quick, witty. So she makes everyone laugh. Gemini is so witty, but she has this Moon in Scorpio. So she cannot be in a relationship that's just about bantering, talking about what they've done today, I went to work, I came back. She needs the deep Scorpio energy. So she starts asking. At one moment in the relationship, she's joking, and maybe a few hours later, she's talking to her partner, or to her husband, or to her friend, and talking about really deep conversations, getting to the bottom, reading between the lines of everything, and she's learned how to mix them both. But sometimes men find her a bit contradictory. She can be so easy breezy, easy going, and then the Scorpio moon comes and demands and wants to, like a surgeon, to get it to the bottom of your soul. And what did you mean with this look? Or what did you mean? Or should come and say, what do you think he means by when he said that? And I'm like, I don't know, I think he meant exactly what he said. He said, no, there was deeper meaning. Let's discuss it. So this is how she combines the deep psychological Scorpio energy with the more frivolous Venus Gemini energy, and should make jokes. We'll be talking about something very deep and intense and dramatic, which is Scorpio. And then, we'll be like, wow, this is like, how do you get out? What is the reasons? What's the motivation? And then she'll make the most ridiculous joke about it, and we'll just start crying with laughter. So she manifests both her feminine planets. But if she was just trying to be easy breezy, or if she was always like intense about deep psychological about, oh, do you love me, I want you, I want to put a spell on you, whatever, and she disregarded this light Venus energy in Gemini, the fun, light, breezy, should again cut herself out from her femininity. Okay, so now let's move to the next sign, Libra, air sign. Libra is a sign of one-to-one relationships. They if they don't have a relationships, often women like that tend to suffer more than other women, with women in Moon in Libra or Venus in Libra, because they really feed off and bounce ideas from another one-to-one. Gemini doesn't have to be so much about one-to-one. It might be a few different friends they communicate, a few different sources of information and exchange. But Libra, it's more like one-to-one relationship. And Libra is very, social sign as well. If they neglect their social life, if they neglect even their appearance, Venus is a sign of beauty and balance. So if you see a Venus Libra or Moon Libra woman who is a bit disheveled, who is not, looking perfect, or not perfect, it doesn't have to be perfect, but elegant in a sense, because Venus is the most balanced, beautiful sign. She's not happy, something is happening. She's not, go and make yourself pretty. Go and put, again, it's a little bit superficial, but go and pamper yourself. Libra is the sign of Venus. Venus is a sign that needs pampering and self-love. Go buy yourself a beautiful dress. Go, Venus is, again, the sign of arts and culture. So go to a beautiful exhibition, go to a nice concert, go to some architecture exhibition or some fashion show of some sort, or go to something, concert or something like that. That is, the Venus rules the art generally. So do something cultural as well. This is, or you yourself get involved in some art where you're creating beautiful things. And Venus in Libra, she when she's happy, she would create a really beautiful environment around herself, whether it's in her home, whether it's in the way she looks, whether it's in her family, or even her workplace. She would create balance, harmony, and that's when others like her. If a woman with Libra planets, Venus or Moon, is too long in a situation that is a lot of striving, a lot of competition, a lot of arguments, she starts withering. Actually, the Aries woman can be like, yeah, that's so cool. I'm so excited, there is tension, there is action. But the Venus, Libra or Moon woman, Libra, Venus or Moon woman, she needs this balance. She needs communication with others in one-to-one and good understanding. And when the outer life isolates them in some way, they start dying within. If they are too alone, if they're not with a companionship, it might be a friendship, it might be something like that. If they're not, if there is not harmony in the environment, but they can go and seek out harmony when it's lacking from their life. Because it's a male sign, Libra is a masculine sign. So when this harmony is lacking and this self-love is lacking from you, or a partner, someone you can bounce off with, a good relationship is lacking, you can start creating this Libra energy and being the woman you're supposed to be by, again, I said, maybe going to lectures or seminars about relationships. That's one thing. Reading about relationships, writing about relationships, going to classes about relationships, or just doing something cultural, something, or something artistic. Venus in Libra is artistic. Or just making herself look more beautiful and try to have a social circle, be out and about. Or just go and create some balance in your life. Basically, go and decorate your house, because Venus in Libra, it's all about beauty and balance. So when you're missing it from your life, when you're not feeling happy, if you're Libra, just go to beautiful places, go to beautiful environments, or you create such beautiful environment around you and pamper yourself with nice, pleasant things, which is Venus. Venus is the planet of the goddess Venus. So kind of pamper yourself like a goddess Venus, or go to buy some beautiful clothes, arrange your house, buy some beautiful flowers, do something that creates this harmony and balance that Libra has. And okay, so then Aquarius, Venus or Libra in Aquarius, well, they need friends. Aquarius is the sign of friendship, being isolated on your own, it's not gonna make them feel happy again. And they need to have a larger social circle. They're the best networkers. And if you're not networking in some way, it means like you're not using your Aquarius energy well, or you're not allowing it to come out. And they're again social activities, but also following Aquarius rules, goals and dreams, our dreams and wishes. So these women tend to be quite visionary, and if they are visionary, hope for the future, because this is the sign that brings hope for the future, envisioning some, having goals and dreams for the future. And this is a masculine sign, so you're actively pursuing them. So if she doesn't have something like that in her life, she might start withering. And it's very hard for Venus in Aquarius or Moon in Aquarius just to be a housewife, just to be stay-at-home mom, or just to be, she needs to find something to get with like-minded people, maybe go attend lectures, maybe go to big gatherings. Aquarius is big gatherings, big parties, big uh, people that come together from similar social, similar understanding, like-minded people, as they say. Find this circle that you join and you belong to, and usually go, they're very conceptual, so they need like discussions, communications, but they also something to stimulate their mind again. And their thinking is more conceptual than, and very impartial. So maybe you'd find it good to read about science fiction or about science overall, or about astrology, about such cutting edge and alternative higher knowledge. Or even politics can be something that they're interested in, social systems, social restructuring, social economical situations of some sort, if you're from a more higher level, um, but definitely Aquarius needs its freedom, but Aquarius is extremely loyal. If you're a woman with Venus or Moon in Aquarius, these women have loyal and lasting feelings. If they're in a super unstable relationships, they won't feel happy either. But they need to be in relationships that give them freedom to breathe, that gives them freedom to follow their dreams, to be active. Because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, one of the planets, which is the planet of acting, working hard towards some goal. And but if you're too restricted, if you don't have the, this freedom and this space a little bit, you might start withering. Or if you don't have the mental intellectual stimulation, again, you can start withering. And often your sense of fashion might be more quirky if you're trying to fit into certain, because Aquarius is also ruled by Uranus, the other sign, the other planet, which is very progressive, very hip, cutting edge fashion, cutting edge trends, cutting edge knowledge and information, the new ideas, the ingenious, new, bright ideas as well. So if you're, and having a very inconspicuous style of fashion, or one that is not too modern or out of, it might be quirky, this is something that you see a Venus. I have, my best friend has Venus in Aquarius. She has her own style, I totally adore, so individualistic. And you know that when she's happy, she gets more and more quirky and more funky dress. So it's absolutely lovely. She lives her Aquarius, Venus. And she needs freedom, space. She has like quirky hobbies, like tattoo artists, and she's into new age and into spiritual things and into astrology now as well. It's kind of unusual, quirky, but she's also Scorpio moon. So she looks like, everyone, like she's super open-minded, and but in her relationship she's super intense. So she found the way to manifest the moon, and extremely sexual. The moon in Scorpio is so sexual. Anyway, Venus, the moon in Scorpio. But she also goes and travels and does her own thing and has her own friends that she goes separately from her partner. She has her own social circle. But then when she's at home, she's super like intense, sexual, wants to talk about deep things with her partner. So she kind of has to switch those roles, open-minded and cool, and this more intense. Anyway, so these are the fire and air signs. Now let's go. And as you see, they're more proactive, they're more masculine, they're more outgoing. If a woman with Venus or Moon in fire or air signs is too shy, she's blocked. If she's not communicative, she's blocked. If she's not outgoing, she's kind of, she something is blocking her. She needs to find more, to be out there, to spread her ideas or her inspirations, to be excited, to be more extrovert, because otherwise she stifles the extroverted energy of her Venus and Moon. But now we come to the female signs. to the water and earth signs. So let's start with the water signs. What if you have your Venus in Cancer, the first water sign, or the moon in Cancer? And overall, talking a little bit the water signs generally. Uh, a woman that has their, it's more feminine, passive. And if you have moon or Venus in Cancer, you have to have moments of reflection, of taking things slowly and waiting till you feel emotionally better in order to act. While the masculine signs, the air and fire, when they're feeling down, for them it's recommended to go out and do the things, that for each sign I gave different suggestions, to go out and actively pursue this happiness and inner, to shift the energy because it's masculine. But if you are with the fire, with the air, with the earth and the water signs, in particular, the water signs are especially receptive and intuitional. You need to actually first make yourself feel better from within, and then you start attracting the right circumstances and maybe waiting out more passively to see what opportunities are there for you. And they're very, a woman with moon or Venus on earth, air, water sign, trying to be too extrovert, trying to be out there loud in the center. This can, unless she has some fire or air so she can balance, it can detract from her femininity more because water is quiet. Water, all the water signs are called mute signs because they're all represented by animals that can't talk. Fish, Cancer, Scorpio. So her femininity starts shining with the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, when there is more mystery, when there is more depth, when she's more calm, when she's not like out there, always, and her personal life is out splashed on Facebook or social media. She talks about her personal, it's kind of those women, their power is in in soothing others, in healing others just with their presence. Water signs have the most healing energy. But water is very nurturing. Water is like nurse. Water envelops you and, kind of makes you feel like in a mother's womb. That's where their beauty comes from. That's where this way more feminine roles for them, way more quiet and private. They can, a woman with water signs will feel happier in a more nurturing, in a more peaceful environment, in a more less competitive, unless she has some fire as well, say the moon in fire or something, rather than in really hectic, in more traditional feminine roles as a supporter, as a wife, as a, as a healer, as a carer, as a nurturer, making beautiful big meals, being there for others to hold them when they need emotional healing. That's what it's beautiful. It's poetic. When I talk about it, I wish I had more watery, because they themselves are more centered, more poised when there's moon or Venus in water. But if you happen to have, clashing water and fire, water and air, you have to do both. You have to find a way to, to balance both, to have some time alone as well, because water is more about the inner private world, to pay attention to your inner voice. So maybe walk in nature, walk near water. This can be very soothing for women who have moon in water signs or Venus in water signs. Living near water can make them even more beautiful. Drinking a lot of water can also make them a lot of very beautiful, their water intake, they should be important as well. And if they're into stressful situations all the time, they it's more feminine. They need to create more security, more gentleness in their environment to feel happy and to start blossoming. Now let's start with Cancer. If you have Venus or Moon in Cancer, family. You, even if you don't have your own family, if you haven't created, usually these women come into their power when they're close to family or connect to family, or when they nurture and take care of others in some way, or if they're in professions that are caring, in professions or some hobbies that are connected to soul, to the music, to nurturing the soul, to nurturing and helping others, or even just cooking at home can be something that's very soothing. And it's kind of, if they're pushed out too much into the world, if they're trying to conquer the world but they forget to take care of family, they forget to, maybe they want to be this, because of mismatched values or examples, they want to become this really successful woman that takes over the world like a big, which is not, Cancer is more about taking care of and healing within and nurturing, like motherly energy. And if they disregard this part of themselves, they can find themselves feeling less and less happy, disconnected. So becoming mothers is something that makes them glow, and doing all those responsibilities that, let's say, a woman with fire or air, moon and Venus, would kind of feel so ugh. And that a woman with Venus or moon in water can feel way more receptive, way more better in such roles, especially in Cancer, and particularly in Cancer, basically. And instead of being brash, again, more quiet, dignified beauty, more gentle, quiet beauty, not in your face. The female signs, they attract not with alluring, in your face fashions or anything like that. So even just doing a nice home cooked meal, or watching a movie that touches your heart, or just speaking to your mom, or just reaching out to a friend to comfort them. These are the things that can start living your water, and or just having hobbies that are more soothing, that are more calming. Again, will bring this real inner goddess. And even while I'm talking about Cancer, I already feel this gentleness, you know. And I have a friend who has Venus in Cancer and Moon in Gemini. So let's give you an example of a clash here. She drives men crazy with her Venus in Cancer because she's mysterious, she's not fully open there, she's very conscious about security. So for her, she needs to have security. She would not just jump into relationships like that. If you have water sign Venus or Moon, you have to be more protective of your feelings, and you have to watch out for your security. If this was anti for the water or for the earth, for the air and fire signs, just to look for security, stability. For the Cancer, it's essential. They need to have stable environment, roots, be connected to their roots, and then they start glowing. Then they have this healthy female glow to them. When they sort out relationships with their closest, nearest, dearest, or even if they have their own property, or maybe having a garden that they work on, or something that they call home, and it's their own stability and foundation, this is what can, from there on, they can start building up on their femininity and have inner peace. But once they're stable, once they have security, Cancer rules security, especially through home, through property, through belonging, through family, they can achieve anything after that. Okay, so the next air sign, water sign is Scorpio. Whoa, the most sexually intense but mysterious sign. It's not in your face like Aries, woman with Aries or something. Ooh, come here, baby. Scorpio sexuality is deep, is intense, and trying to be overly sexual in your eyes, in your face, when you're Scorpio woman, ascendant, or Venus or Moon, can detract from your beauty. Your real power is your mysteriousness. Your real power is your depth. Don't try to be easy breezy, superficial. If you think that your best friend is like, ooh, always chatting, flirting, and the guys love her, well, that's her personality. If you're trying to be like that, you detract from this, what you're meant to be here as a woman. Deep, intense, the most loyal, devoted, intense, and passionate lover, one on one with one person, to get under the skin of another, and to not grab them, to subtly be in control of the situation, rather than with direct bossy methods, rather than, don't go manipulative either, but to subtly control psychologically the situation, rather than through huge confrontations. But usually it's very hard. Whether Venus or Moon, both of those planets are called that they're in Scorpio. When they're in Scorpio, they create a lot of drama, especially the early part in life for such a woman, because they're considered to be in fall or in a difficult sign. Venus and Moon both clash a little bit with the energy of Scorpio because it's so intense. And the experiences of Scorpio, Venus, or Moon woman are super intense in relationship. Often, for part of their life, they have to experience relationships that are kind of almost break them and make them, that are super intense, super sometimes painful relationships of, of being betrayed, or some drama that happens there. They often experience it. It's part of their journey. It's part of what their soul chose, because the purpose of Scorpio, Venus or Moon, is to make a woman extremely emotionally strong, and extremely, because Scorpio rules emotional strength, like ice strong, and how the universe teaches those women to be emotionally strong and to be healers. Scorpio is the energy healing. It's extremely transformational. In this lifetime, they're supposed to transform their psychological level from one of deep drama and deep intense feelings that can be black or white almost within, especially when they're younger. Venus in Scorpio or Moon in Scorpio, they can be very black or white, very extreme emotionally. Their moods can vacillate a lot up and down. This is the more painful side of Scorpio. Very difficult relationships of early childhood or transformations. Emotionally, they feel so deeply. They take things so personally. So, but that's the reason the universe puts them in such situations, that after overcoming these more darker sides, more intense, difficult, they become super empowered themselves. Nothing is fearful, nothing scares them anymore. And they become the most sexually magnetic women, and with Venus and Moon, regenerated Venus and Moon, because Scorpio is the only sign that transforms in such a big way. And usually the first part of one's life, Venus and Moon in Scorpio, creates really intense and how do I say, it takes you to the dark side. It takes you through Hades, the kingdom of Pluto, the god that rules Scorpio, the planet that rules Scorpio. It takes you, what the story is, that Pluto, or Hades, his other Greek name, is that he would abduct Persephone, the beautiful virginal Persephone, to his underworld kingdom for 6 months and rape her there for 6 months, and then allow her for 6 months to go out. So you see how the relationships and emotions that Venus in Moon in Scorpio, Venus or Moon in Scorpio, can mirror that mythology. Like they're taken part of their journey dark, underground, and that it almost like raping of their femininity, I would say, of their, of their most sensitive part. But after that, uh, when Persephone comes for 6 months of the year above ground, she brings spring with her. Basically, she brings life, she brings healing, she brings rejuvenation to others. Because the ultimate goal of Venus and Moon in Scorpio is to themselves have this healing of deep traumas and to transform their own relationships, to feel empowered and no longer react with such extremes, and to actually empower others as well. To empower, um, heal others. I mean, some of the most, and not only that, the power, the magnetic power of Venus and Moon in Scorpio, when rejuvenated after having gone through the kingdom of darkness, is so mysterious and alluring. Very few men can, you know, they can, because Scorpio rules the Kundalini energy, which is the energy that is at the base, which is the sexual energy at the base of the uh, spinal cord. And when it's rejuvenated, when they've been able to transform, to forgive, and to experience those deep emotional relationships and to connect on a very deep level, this Kundalini energy gets awakened, so they can even have tantric sex and experience tantric, extremely deep connection. The reward for them is first, after the more traumatic part of Scorpio, Venus, Moon, when the good part comes, when the rejuvenation comes, is that they have the most emotionally connected and deep relationships. And how this their energy can be hurt, how it can be blocked if they jump around a lot in sexual relationships just for the sex rather than for the deep intimate connection. They're robbing themselves of their true, the energy that they can generate through just connecting to one person or one passion and goal. Or if they allow themselves to be in relationships that don't go too deep, or if they allow themselves to be in relationships that in some way um, either superficial, there's no deep psychological connection, or lacking sex. Like a woman that stays in a marriage, say her Moon is in Scorpio and she stays in a marriage just because the financial security or whatever, but there is sexless or passionless marriage, there is no deep connection, this will wither her. This a Scorpio woman, she needs. And what the reward for Scorpio Moon or Venus is that they get those most deeply bonding sexual and emotional experiences, and that they become so magnetic usually when they transform that energy. But first, often there is some kind of intensity and darkness, that comes. Anyway, and their power is in mystery, is in the occult, is in, if they want to feel better, maybe they can read about life after death, about such occult topics. They can read about, they can research such topics. They can, what can help them a lot is counseling. Scorpio rules psychology. Scorpio rules also astrology and getting to the bottom of things. That's why always I get the most views on everything that I post astrologically from Scorpios, because they really want to dig deep and understand the underlying reasons. So you see, if you have Scorpio, Venus, or Moon, you're blocking yourself if you're staying on the surface, if you're superficial, if you're trying to be, because of pretending that it doesn't hurt, pretending that everything is okay, not sharing your deep emotions, hiding them. And that's for all water signs, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Trying to be the tough guy, trying to like say, oh, nothing is okay, someone goes and hurts you and you are like trying to be tough or brush it off or getting angry. This detracts from your femininity. Water expresses its emotions. Water shares those emotions. Water, kind of, it's vulnerable. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Go to your partner. Don't try to be the tough girl. Don't try to try and be like your fire or air sisters. Your power is in secretiveness. Not, don't be like hide secrets, but in in reservedness, in a sense. Your power is in your vulnerability as well. Your power is in your ability to be emotionally present and connect to another on a deep emotional level and not to be superficial. Okay, so what about Pisces? Again, very most sensitive sign, but all the water signs are sensitive. Venus is exalted in Pisces. So they need an idealistic love. They cannot be in love in a relationship just for practical considerations. That can kill them. And Moon in Pisces as well. They're very sentimental, they're romantic, just like all the other water signs. But Cancer can be more for security. But Pisces, it's full of ideals. Pisces is the fairy tale sign, is the Cinderella sign. If you started looking at love cynically, if you start looking at life cynically, if you start believing in miracles and in magic, your Pisces Venus and your Pisces Moon goddess is suffering. You're not there. You're killing yourself, and you need to find a way again to believe. You need to find a way again to dream, to visualize. You can attract powerful things by visualizing, because Pisces is the sign of dreaming, is the sign of imagination, and also being in some creative hobbies, something that's more soothing, more nurturing, whether it's like music, whether it's painting. This is for all water signs, Venus or Moon, because it's the water, especially in Pisces. Pisces is extremely creative, but the water signs are imaginative, and especially in Pisces. When you found yourself that you stop dreaming, that when daydreaming, start again, start envisioning your future. Or if you are disconnected, if you don't have a Pisces rules also the higher, the invisible world. So your imagination is feeding on the invisible world. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. The fishes don't have a scale like Cancer and like Scorpio. The fishes are, their vulnerability is actually their shield, their slipperiness and their openness. You have to be forgiving. If you find yourself Venus or Moon Pisces, Venus or Moon in Pisces, and you have not forgiven and you're holding grudges, you're not living you're blocking your goddess. Pisces is the sign of forgiving and letting go. You have to learn to let go. And you have to, again, being near water can help. Reading about spiritual topics, praying and meditating, or spending some time alone. Pisces, Venus, or Moon. You need that time because you're so impressionable to throw out some of the, the energy you've picked up from others. You need your time alone, and being in nurturing, in caring roles. All water signs, basically, it's what in more family roles, more gentle. If there's too much strife around you, Pisces, again, this is not an environment that's good for you. If it's too much competition, or if there's too much structure, if someone is trying to make you live like under some military routine and regime, Pisces wants to go with the flow. Pisces wants to, to flow there like a fish, to have options, because otherwise Pisces can quickly slip away and run away if they're in some very rigid relationships, some very, uh, some very and traveling. Pisces is another sign that can rule traveling foreign countries, being connected to foreign cultures in some way, or traveling of the mind in a sense, visualizing prayers. They can have, like for Pisces, Moon, and Venus, what can help them a lot is have some little area at home where they can have prayers, where they can be alone and talk to God, you know, or place where they can be alone and meditate or read. Sanctuary, a place of sanctuary in a sense. And trying to be tough girls and boys, or say you have Venus in Pisces, but Moon in Aries. So you have to incorporate both. You have to be vulnerable and dreaming, idealistic, and then you have to go and become at moments and retreat and nurturing and loving, and then you have to find outlets for your military, not military, but for your kind of warrior nature, your princess warrior nature as well, to conquer the world and to have adventures. Okay, now let's go to the earth signs. The earth sign are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Actually, for them, having a life that is super unpredictable, crazy, without security, can harm them. They start aging, they start worrying. Because Earth is the ground. Earth needs a shape, needs a form, needs stability in a sense. The three different signs in different way. But if you're lacking that, you feel ungrounded and your inner goddess is starting to die. Just going on crazy adventures, not having a plan for your life, or just not taking your material responsibility seriously. This is what can age you. A friend I remember who had a lot of Earth, Moon in Earth, and Venus in Earth sign, and she tried to live the lifestyle I was living for a while, and she said, "How do you do that? It's kind of so exhausting, and I cannot live without the security, without my routines, without my knowing, without the stability. It will totally exhaust me." That's why the feminine signs, the water and earth signs, they're better off in more feminine roles, in more traditional roles, and they're more at peace with themselves as well, because the Venus and Moon are feminine planets. When they're in water and earth signs, they're in their natural domain, where they're more nurturing, where they're more loving. While women with Venus and Moon with male signs, they can clash with male more, because they're kind of doing more male activities, but they have to act out that male goddess, more masculine, more proactive goddess in them, or else they won't feel happy either, and they won't be natural to true to themselves and attract adoration or attract the right circumstances in life. Sorry, that's my Leo moon being so vain. Anyway, so let's start with Taurus. The Venus or Moon in Taurus, both are exalted. Actually, Venus rules Taurus, so very strong position, and the Moon rules Taurus, so really great position for either Venus or Moon to have in Taurus. Very grounding, very stabilizing. This is what female energy is what for, naturally. For them, material and financial security is stable. If you don't have some savings in the bank, or if you don't have financial security, you might worry so much and wither, and it's kind of, but they can be so loyal. That's like the ideal. It can be a wonderful wife, because she would take Venus, she would be loyal, her feelings are long lasting. She's there, she loves to support the family, to take care of the family. And Taurus is a sign that can do best with all the resources they have. They can utilize them to the max. It's a sign of preservation as well. So they need to be being in too wild, too unstable moments. For example, if their life is constantly changing, if their life is unpredictable, my God, this can really stress them out. This can worry them too much. But if they don't have the stability currently, they have to consciously strive towards them, because this is when they have material security, when they feel like, then their self-worth comes more, and they start shining up their feminine energy there. And when life will put them in situations where they have to change a lot, the circumstances are changing a lot, or where there is not much security and stability, they have to find ways to do that, to ground themselves. Go in nature, spend time in nature, earth yourself, walk barefoot. This really much connects to your energy. Or take care of people. Taurus is extremely nurturing sign. Make a good meal, cook for someone, take uh, something, take care of something, take nurture something, have a vegetable garden, you know, and then gradually work on your stability. And also they need to pamper themselves. Venus and Moon in Taurus, you know that they're healthy when they're really kind of sensual. If you're out of touch with your sensuality, and it's a sexual sign as well, more on the sensual side, but if you're finding yourself that you don't have sensual desires, something is blocked there. Find ways to stimulate them. If you find yourself that you're, not enjoying the five senses, Taurus rules the five senses. Good food, pampering yourself with good music, with good food, with good drinks, with good materials. Go buy yourself a good quality dress, not nothing flashy. The earth signs are not flashy. Their femininity is not flashy. It's natural, especially Taurus is the sign of the earth, the most natural, like nature. Don't make yourself too much makeup and too like sexual. This is not your attractiveness. Venus or Moon in Taurus, they're natural. They're like Mother Earth. They're not in your face. They're subtle but elegant. They use expensive materials. Don't have 100 dresses. Have 3 dresses, but high quality. This will reflect your feminine Taurus energy much better. Or sumptuous or luscious kind of materials, and get yourself high quality things. This is how um, and even if someone says, oh, you're too material, you're too sensual, this is what men or other people would attract and like you for, because this is the energy of Taurus. Then we move to Virgo. If you have your Venus in Virgo, Moon in Virgo, well, it's kind of, you need to have your routines there. Just like Taurus needs its stability and its predictability in relationship. If someone is constantly creating change or stirring the pot for you, Taurus, you're not happy emotionally. These relationships are not for you. But for Venus in Virgo or Moon in Virgo, you need, Virgo rules daily routines and duties and responsibilities. A Venus Virgo Moon woman will feel much more attractive after she's done her daily routines, after she's done her daily workout exercise, after she's done a healthy meal and took care for the whole family, or after she fulfilled her work duties and responsibilities, her practical tasks. Virgo is like planning. She has arranged her day well. She has prepared. She knows what's coming in the future. She's ticked off the boxes from all her errands and tasks that she wrote. She kind of organized. So even after cleaning your house, if you're feeling out of funk, you have Venus in Virgo or Moon in Virgo, start cleaning. Actually put some order around you. Start systemizing, a bit like maybe Monica in Friends. And that's what people would love you for, because you create order, because you create neatness, because you get those things done. If you're trying to be responsible and live like some, more Sagittarius sisters, Moon or Venus, but you're not following through with your duties and responsibilities, you're not gonna feel happy. You're not gonna feel secure. You're just gonna start withering again, as I said. So you need to have some health. Focus on your health. Virgo rules health, detoxing. You'll feel very good about yourself if you're in a healthy diet, if you are doing your healthy exercises. You'll feel very good helping others. Virgo, Moon, Venus, they show love, and the men and others would appreciate you when you go and do something practical. Maybe help them, I don't know, install something, or help them clean, or help them go tell your husband, or go make them something of practical value. Even, this is what they'll appreciate you for, rather than some crazy adventures trying to be something. Unless, say, you have Moon in Sagittarius, so you have to play to that area, or to that more crazy, excitable energy as well. But you have Venus in Virgo, so you have to find a way to be structured and organized, and more classy. Virgo is more classy sign, and kind of humbleness. This is what makes them beautiful. If they try to show off too much, unless they have Virgo, for example, one of their feminine planets is in Leo, sorry, they'll have to balance between the humbleness of Virgo and the more toned down appearance of Virgo. But Virgo, definitely, they look better in more sophisticated fashions, more simple fashions, clean cut, neat, rather than in your face, something garish, something to flash, flashy in some way. So this kind of a more subdued but class, again, good qualities materials, classy things are for them. And I think Julia Roberts has her Venus in Virgo and her Moon in Leo. So look how she's managed to combine, with the loud laughter. But then she has always, if you see her, she has a very toned down appearance. She dresses elegantly. She's not so brash. So this Venus in Virgo is able to, and she's very responsible. She's never goes in the newspapers for getting drunk or being loud or doing crazy stuff. There is this kind of maybe more of a purity there, more of a toned down energy, a Virgo. So actually, even being a little bit like little girls is what makes them more attractive. Not naive. That's not like Aries is more like naive and this kind of stuff, but more like, you can be shyer. Allow yourself to be shy. Allow you don't. And if you're put in center stage positions, this can disgruntle you. This can be taken off too much of the limelight. It can detract from you. While for a Leo lady, it will make a blossom. But for you, being put there on the spot, in the spotlight, can unnerve you. You're there like Mother Teresa to help others humbly behind the scenes, to do your duties and responsibilities, to plan, to do the practical and arrange the practical and daily activities, and to create kind of order, and create. Yeah, my brain's starting to freeze. And discriminating. Be more discriminating. The worst thing a Virgo, Venus, or Moon can do, sometimes a bit like Scorpio, is to go around sleeping around. Is to go around because this is Virgo is it's kind of the little girl. It makes less attractive, basically. It detracts from your female power. There is more in any kind of purity. Purity in any form will increase your feminine power, whether it's through detoxing, whether it's through eating less contaminated foods or organic or not eating meat, or whether it's through cleaning around, or whether it's through some kind of purity that you do, some kind of purification. And I'm not saying don't have sex, not at all, but it's kind of, it have to be, your beauty comes from more of this innocence, not exactly innocent, but this purity of Virgo, the little girl. It's not actually, it's described by a little girl, not by a lush virgin. It's a girl prepubescent. This is the sign of Virgo. That's 7, 8, 10 years old. But helping others. And Virgo is very good at discriminating rather than allowing anything here, anything goes. If you're trying to see like easygoing, breezy, no, this is not your true femininity. Virgo is discriminating. Virgo chooses toughly. Virgo criticizes, not like puts people down, but Virgo will see, what is not right and will point it out and say there's place for improvement here. And if you're trying to stifle this down and trying to be always assertive, you're not playing true to your energy either. Or if you're avoiding, for example, it can be very grounding having regular routines and regimes for Venus, Moon in Virgo, or having a regular job, or having a job of service where she finds her brain is put to use, where she finds her practical skills of organization and management and planning are put to use, or like medical professions as well. A Virgo can be connected. Service to the weaker, to the less advantaged of some sort, or anything that is organizational and planning, which is Virgo, or even having such hobbies or something like that can very much help bring out your inner goddess. Okay, and the last sign we have now is Capricorn. And this Venus or Moon in Capricorn, usually the first part of life relationship tends to be tougher there. Why is that? Because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, the planet of delays. So they might have actually, they really blossom later in life into their femininity. Actually, while they're younger, people might think they're older. Like I have a friend who is Venus in Capricorn, and she was like 23 when we went for a bar, and they asked her for idea, and I was 30 at the time, and they didn't ask me. And she was like, she was offended, But now the older she gets, she's like coming up to 30, she's getting more and more into her power, especially after 30, in their 40s, in their 50s. This is when they